Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Kindly like, subscribe and share. Thanks to those who liked my last video and subscribed after watching. I really appreciate you all. So today's video, it is about like a story time of how I almost got raped at 13. Okay, so I've tried to make this video earlier, but it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. So today I'm going to be telling it. Sorry, I'm not on makeup because I'm at work currently. Um, let's get into this video already. Okay, so I was 13 and okay, so I just started seeing my period, I think a month earlier before that incident. Um, that morning I woke up, my parents had gone out, they always go out very early, and then they left me with my aunts to watch over me because it was the holidays, no school and all. I can't remember the day because it's been long. And then that day I woke up and decided to go look for food to eat because I was very hungry. I got into the kitchen and I noticed that my neighbor's food in the kitchen was burning. So I decided to go call him as a good neighbor that I am. And then I went to their apartment and then I noticed it was with his nieces. No, I think one of the nieces because like the other ones had gone outside to play. They were outside playing. And then uh he immediately came in. I was like, hey, uncle, because that's what they call him, and we decided to call him the same thing. And I was like, uncle, your food is burning. And I perceived it was beans, so I was like, your beans is burning. And he's like, oh, it's true, would you like to eat? And then I used to like beans a lot, and I accepted to eat beans. And he said, okay, I should wait. I said, okay. And then he was eating and he asked me to join him. I was like, no, I don't want to eat rice because he was eating rice. And I said it was beans I really liked. And I said, okay. And immediately he told his niece to leave the house to go play with the other children outside. So I was kind of waiting, and when I noticed it was wasting time, I decided to turn back and then like go outside and all. Immediately I turned back, like heading to the door, I just felt someone grab me from behind. At this point, I was still young and I couldn't just decode everything. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, I was numb. I didn't move, I didn't say nothing. And they slowly drew me backwards to the room. And then like a lot of things were going through my mind. I'm like, no, this is someone respect. I can't imagine this happening. Like it couldn't be. I could be imagining things. Like a lot of things were going through my head because this is someone we respect. I literally call him uncle because he also has like a nephew my age. He has younger nieces, so almost my age. But like I couldn't imagine it. And then at that point, he had dragged me into the room. And getting to the room, he pushed me on his bed and tried to take off my trousers because I was wearing this like pajama kind of trouser. And I noticed there was a baby. There was a baby on the bed. And I decided to hit the baby so like the baby would cry and someone would be like, oh, who is there? Why? Who is not taking care of a baby? And then it didn't the baby didn't cry. Funny enough, that baby did not cry. It was funny, but the baby didn't cry. The baby just laid there sleeping. And at that point, I knew something was, if I didn't act fast, something was going to get wrong. It was going to go extremely wrong. And it was at that point, he was already trying to take off his shorts because he was like wearing a short, I think. I really can't remember, but like I remember him trying to take off his shirt. That was when I remembered, oh, my auntie's supposed to be home. Then I screamed my auntie's name because like my my window is like close to just like at the back of the house, their apartment. So I shouted, thinking my auntie was at home, and I shouted my auntie's name. And my auntie's name is Grace, so I shouted Auntie Grace. I screamed her name like 3 times. I think he didn't leave me at that point, but then like I think he realized, oh, he thought she was at home, and that at that point he was already trying to like lay on me. He left me. That was when he left me, and I ran. I ran for my life. Like I ran like my life depended on it. At that point, I just kept running and I went all the way back, heading to like a passage towards my own apartment. I saw my dad coming back. My dad who had left like hours ago. He came back. And immediately I sighted him, I shouted, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And then it was like, what's wrong with you? He kept like shouting, what's wrong with you? And he held me and asked me what's going on. And I told him what happened. It was so mad. It was so angry. And at that point, I was like, "Are you for real? Did he do that to you?" Like, while we were trying to like decode everything, my dad was trying to like decode everything I had just said to him. This said uncle walked all the way to trying to come to my apartment and like started calling my name, Victoria, Victoria. What's wrong? And then he met my dad, me and my dad. We weren't inside yet. We were still at the passage like talking, and he's like, Victoria, what's wrong with you? Why did you run like that? And my dad was like, whoa, really? And my dad said, okay, Victoria, repeat what you just said to me. And I repeated every single detail in front of him. And he was like, oh my God, God forbid. What kind of human are you? That never happened. And then he said his food was on the stove and it was burning. And I came to call him. And on leaving, I grabbed him, me, a 13-year-old, grabbed him and started screaming my auntie's name. That was what happened. And mind you, my dad is a pastor. He wouldn't get too aggressive to hit someone. Even not being a pastor, he's not that aggressive. He's not aggressive. He just looked at him and said, okay, you say so, okay, no problem. Then my dad waited for his sister to come back because he stays with his sister, and then waited for some of my neighbors to come back like after the whole day. And then they called like a meeting because everybody knows when you're like not you might not everybody get along, but we got along with our neighbors. Like we're more like families than neighbors. So they called every like I think some men from each home come in like for a meeting. So at that point, they all sat they sat for the meeting, and they decided to like call me in after my dad had said some things. Then they called me in and asked me to tell the whole story again. And at this point, like I said everything. I was angry because of what had happened like earlier that day and how he denied it. And at this point, he had gone to church. So they were waiting for him. I said everything I had to say. The auntie was like, my brother couldn't do this. My brother, I literally rose my brother. I took care of him. I took care of my brother. My brother cannot do that. And I was like, oh, really? And luckily, should I say luckily or unluckily for me? Anyhow, the brother came back from church. He came back from church, and the sister was like, oh, thank God he's here. Let him come and start saying his own story. This guy said the same thing. He said, I grabbed him from behind and started shouting for my auntie's name, that I wanted to set him up. I was still young. I don't even know what setup. I didn't even know the meaning of setup. I'm telling you, like, it was so annoying. I was in pain. And everybody believed him because this guy, if you know this guy, he is quiet. extremely quiet. He never says anything. He never quarrels with anybody. He never tries to harm anybody. He takes care of his nieces. He bathes them, does everything for them. So nobody would expect this from him. But they would expect it from me, a 13-year-old, to set him up, to get words. Like, I don't understand. And then the meeting was closed. My dad noticed like nobody was really on my side. They all just died the whole issue. My dad made it known to me. Thankfully, I really appreciate this. Like, my dad made it known to me that he believed me and he would always be there for me. And then no matter what happened, I should never be too scared to speak out. And he stood by me. My dad is my best friend, by the way. He's been there for me ever since. And I am really happy he did that for me. And then, like, I think the next day or so, like some days after, as normal Nigerians we do, we greet our neighbors, the older ones. We greet like good morning and all of that. And then I noticed every time I tried to greet this uncle's sister, she wouldn't reply me. She wouldn't. I don't know why. She didn't reply me. She told her kids not to play with me. She told they ganged up, those stay-at-home moms ganged up against me that was like alone at home, that nobody should talk to me. They told their kids not to talk to me, not to play with me because I was of the devil. I was beginning to do things that were way above my age. This affected me because I think if you've ever been sexually harassed, you would know how traumatizing it is. And then these women, said women who were supposed to like be there for me when my mom was like working and all of that, who were like always at home, because we are we're living in a house where other parents could actually interfere in other kids' matters. So they were supposed to be like parents to me. They stayed away from me and they discriminated me. And it really hurt me. This said uncle has his family now, but I just really felt I should say this out again. If I was lying before, you wouldn't say I'm lying now. I never lied. Whatever I said before is the same thing I'm saying. He tried to rape me. Someone like that is capable of things you could not imagine. I just said I should say this. And I have forgiven him. I've forgiven him, but the fact that he didn't say the truth till date still brings this anger. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I wish you would walk up to me and say, Vicky, I'm sorry for what I almost did to you or something. And it would have made me happy. It would have given me a closure, or it would have made me feel relaxed. But till date, he still hasn't done that. And my parents still live there. And I see him every time I go home. But I feel anger. Like, he doesn't try to talk to me. I greet him like normal, but he doesn't try to have a conversation with me or anything. He still hasn't said sorry. I know many people who knows me would know who I'm talking about. And his sister or anybody might see this. And anybody who grew up with me would see this. I know I am not lying. Come out and say sorry to me. I won't come to the world and tell them that you've said sorry, but you should do that. I deserve it. You ruined a part of my childhood, because that put a big stigma. And then, like, many parents now think I am dubious and cunning. Like, imagine being cunning at that age. What would I be at this age? Like, I just want people to know I never lied. And that's it. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share if you've not. I would really appreciate you liking, subscribing. Subscribe, please, and share this video. And never be too afraid to speak out. Please. Thank you for watching.